Hi guys, I won't take up too much of your time. However, if you saw recently, I made a video about the Wuthering Waves 2.3 live stream where I covered a couple things that, well, basically were revealed. And while personally I feel that the version itself, the content within the patch itself, was quite cool, with things like the summer skin and honestly the Resonator Cubes event looking pretty cool, alongside an amazing announcement from the Cyberpunk collab, which is far in the future. There was a lot of backlash, admittedly, and it is specifically centered around the anniversary rewards and the fact that despite being given pretty I would say lackluster rewards is the way that a lot of people have seen it, they did have a lot of things included in it to quote unquote compensate for it, or to kind of ease or appease people, which included things like a top-up reset and multiple banners. And now again, to be clear, while these things are not necessarily bad things, you know, for certain players, having them next to each other definitely feels very hollow feeling. As a result, the Wuthering Waves devs have just announced, what, at the time of this recording, basically 15-20 minutes ago at this point, that because of the 2.3 broadcast live stream and them receiving almost, I think, something crazy like 200,000 comments, regardless if they're authentic or not, receiving an insane amount of publicity or public backlash and feedback, they've announced that, at least from this post, they're giving us 30 pulls for free, which will be in the form of a login event. However, I do want to say that depending on how you choose to see this, they did also mention that they're looking to perhaps update or mention things in the future. At the time of this, they said same, like, or they were mentioning things how they fell short in terms of how the broadcast was structured, which was, honestly, I don't think this was necessarily the case. I think that the broadcast was pretty fine. However, it's just that because they decided to present things in a way where it was like, oh, and guys, you know, guess what? We know that you would really love this, so here's what you would enjoy. And while these things by themselves, or them saying like, oh my god, like this is so player friendly, comments like this are not necessarily wrong in some of the cases that they presented it, players expected, or at least from what I can understand and I've seen, it felt that players were expecting more. Because if you're going to say that you're player friendly, you would maybe insinuate that there's a bit more oomph to the rewards themselves, and not just say, or, you know, point at yourself and say like, wow, we did such a good job, that is amazing, we did an amazing job, while also, of course, failing to deliver on the expectations of players and their anniversary rewards. Now, that said, I do want to say that the expectations that some people have seen, or some people have had and people have talked about in terms of the live stream, were crazy things like getting any of the limited like the new limited characters like Zany and Siakona for free. Those are absolutely ridiculous. Some speculation said that, you know, they wanted or that people were going to get the free characters of their choice and their weapon, which sounds even crazier. And while it is in our wildest fantasy for us to have had something like that, it's not entirely realistic, though I do think that I am a little bit or something that I'm a bit more interested about this post is that despite this seeming like the end all be all, I am maybe a bit hopeful that maybe there's something that they'll be including or introducing in the future. They say that we want you to know we're planning future updates or future versions with you in mind, so stay tuned for more updates. And hopefully I'm reading into this a bit, hopefully that again we'll be maybe receiving a little bit more than just 30 pulls, because honestly, though, getting 10 pulls or 20 pulls in this case is nice, I don't think that necessarily I guess properly conveys like the sentiment that was kind of you know, the sentiment that was kind of echoed by other people regarding, or, you know, by players, I guess, regarding this live stream. Because it wasn't necessarily just that like, oh, we all wanted, you know, every character to be free, but it was like, well, you told us that we were all going to be super happy, and like, wow, Solon was like, aren't you guys so excited and glad that we decided to give you all these free rewards? And again, like, while some of the updates were really cool, like they genuinely authentically work, like Zanny looks cool and Siakona looks cool, it just feels a little bit hollow when, you know, you can directly compare, or you could directly see that other gacha games or other games currently are having their anniversaries, including games like Nikke, and, you know, Zenless Zone Zero is going to have theirs as well in the future. But looking at their potential rewards, or their rewards, or even a game like Honkai Star Rail's rewards from the past, and then seeing what Wuthering Waves gave, which is pulls, but like in some cases, like some of the pulls aren't even usable on like the excited or the more hyped up patch or banner, just feels a little bit weird. In any case, though, they apologize. They recognize that, again, maybe their behavior on the broadcast is what they're trying to get at there, was a bit more unthought out or thoughtless, but I don't really think that's the case, because truthfully, like, I felt that some of the things or some of the jokes are cool, like the overworked joke or something like Zany, I think was kind of funny. The having the, you know, like the eye bags under their eyes were kind of funny. I like it, or me personally, I think it's nice to be able to see a development company that isn't so you know, so, what is it, so inflexible that it feels like you can't joke about anything at any point or at any, you know, part of their company's expense. And so I think it breathes a little bit of life when you can have comments or a conversation like that. But in any case, guys, long story short, you're getting 30 pulls, which is pretty cool. But yeah, cool, I guess. It would be nice, I guess, in the future for us to have something more. And again, in terms of like the only thing I think felt a little bit bad was that at the very end of the live stream, you know, they said, hey guys, or Solon specifically said, like, hey guys, you know, despite the Cyberpunk collab being arguably the most exciting and cool thing that I've seen from a gacha game in years, the thing that really threw me off is that they said, hey, and guess what, we have one small thing that we haven't told you about. And, you know, everyone's like excited, like, what, you would wait until the very end for this? And then, drum roll please, there will be a new map in 2.4. Like, it just feels a little bit weird, because that, I feel like, would be the point of the live stream where, again, you reveal something like, actually, and everyone's getting a selector, or, you know, like the first banner for Zany, or like the first banner that you pull on, like in some of the convene banners or whatever, is a guaranteed. There's no 50-50. Something along those lines, I feel like, was where they would have slotted that comment in. Just saying that there's going to be a new map, and to be clear, I'm not saying that having a new location is not exciting, as all of the locations in Zenless Zone Zero look absolutely amazing, but that seems like something that you would have included either earlier on, or you would have included maybe in the gameplay or some of the feature sections where they show off the different locations. As again, I'm not necessarily sure about the excitement of an announcement about a new location without any details as to what the characters or what the location is going to look like, even necessarily, or what we're going to be doing there. They just announced that, well, there's a new location, there's going to be a new map, and you guys should get excited for it. In any case, though, guys, those are just my thoughts about the live stream. Again, I'm pretty excited for the content of the patch, but I do definitely understand why people are frustrated with the broadcast itself in terms of what was, I guess, maybe conveyed, or how it was conveyed. Though, again, I don't think the format of it was bad. I think the music was fine. And yeah, the pacing was pretty good. It was like an hour and 45 minutes of very little filler. There was like a little bit of filler here and there, but detail, announcement. I literally watched through, and I was like, you know, I was typing it up as it was happening, and I couldn't keep up with how often they were announcing things. But anyways, yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy. Good night.